I'm Gerald Richards. I'm the CEO of the Superpower Agency, and I am sitting here with
Callum. I am an intern at Superpower Agency, and I came for the workshops as a young person.
So, tell us a little bit about your first workshop that you attended.
So, in second year of high school,
So that's 2018.
Yeah, 2018. I was 14 at the time. I attended a pen pals workshop where we basically wrote to the older community who were in care homes in the nearby area, and we wrote to them almost as well pen pals, as friends, almost, and we corresponded for a couple of weeks, and eventually we met the pen pals, and that's it. And throughout the workshop, like, we had to write the letters, and obviously that was a challenge for our class.
Why was it a challenge for your class?
Because we were more of a bottom set English class, and we didn't really do much in English. English was more of just like a come and get by type thing, rather than a come and succeed.
Okay.
So the volunteers helped us write the letters to our pen pals, and it was a big success. And we have this book here. This one. I'll show the camera. The pen pals book.
Yeah.
So
So, tell us a bit about. So, like you said, you were in a bottom set English class. So, you didn't like English at all. You weren't an English.
No.
You were like, this is
Hated
the last thing I want to do is sit in this class with these people. And so when we came in, Super Agency, what did you think?
Honestly, and I think I speak for everyone here, we thought it was a load of nonsense and a load of rubbish. And when we were told that, we're going to be in a book and we're going to be published authors, we're like, no way, no chance. Never going to happen. Basically.
And so, what was it like then writing to your pen pal? Like, what was the process like, and what did you get? Because there's like, from when you started, you didn't like English. What was it like as you went through it and then got to the end of it?
Well, in terms of the workshop, it was like first couple of weeks warming up, getting to know all the volunteers and everyone involved that was going to be helping us write the letters. Like, we didn't write the letters in the first couple of weeks, which I think was good, and it was fundamental to like catch, especially a class like mine's, attention. In those first couple of weeks, it's important to get their attention. And you got, Super Agency got our attention, and
so that's what made us different than sort of
just the happy, fun attitude, the informal approach that the workshops and the volunteers take to developing youth writing, I think is like pinnacle to its success, because it's not like school. And I think that's what really hooked my class. Like, it wasn't like school, and it was fun, and it was
even though it was in school.
It's completely different. And I think that's probably one of the most important things for the workshop, is that it's not like school.
And then, so went through the workshop, we had the big meet, and then we published the book. What was that like? Suddenly you got the book.
It's like, holding the book in your hand is like, it's just an amazing feeling, because there's always that bit of doubt, even after the workshop's finished and everything's happened. There's always that bit of doubt that it's still not going to happen, but it did, and it was amazing. And what do you think that's a common theme in the classroom?
It's interesting. I think we come in and we tell them, even when we bring them examples of other books that young people have written and have been published, that they're still like, I don't believe this is happening. I don't believe it's happening. I don't believe it's happening. And it literally is only until the book is that we just did a book launch yesterday. And it was a couple months between when we finished the workshop and had the book and finally brought the book into them and had it published. And came in and they were like, wow.
Yeah.
And there's one young man who was there, who was like in the class, a lot like you, was like, I'm doing this, I don't know why I'm doing it, didn't really want to write something, but did write something, and then saw the book, and literally for the entire like hour or so we were all together with the book launch, all he did was smile.
Yeah.
And all he did was look at his page and go, like, look at this, and was signing copies of the book for people and was so excited about it. And I remember told his teacher afterwards, and I was like, oh. I said, I remember he wasn't that engaged. He's like, it's like night and day.
Yeah. And it is for a lot of young people. It's like, that's actually a really good way to put it. It's like night and day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just me that feels this way. It's like, it's helped. Of course it does, like everything helps some people more than others.
Yeah.
But I think that every single student takes something from it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of people do take as much of it away from it as I have.
Yeah.
And I know that it's like, I don't want to get like too like soppy about, but like it was kind of like, it was life changing.
Yeah.
You know, it completely redirected how I thought and how I am as a person. So, and I know that does happen for a lot of students. So,
you've also been interning with us.
Yeah.
And so you've been working here, but you've also been volunteering in classrooms. And actually, coincidentally, or not coincidentally, you volunteer in the classroom in a primary school, the primary school that you went to.
Yeah.
Actually. So tell us about that. What's that like?
It's good. I really enjoy the volunteering because I'm passionate to improve young people.
Yeah.
And not just literally, but sorry, I can't say that word.
No, I
can't. But just like the overall lifestyle of young people. And I think volunteering allowed me to gain a better understanding of like the student to volunteer to workshop leader relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think coming through the workshops and then going on to volunteer, it's made me a better volunteer because I understand the process.
Yeah.
And I think for some maybe volunteers, maybe it'll be their first workshop. It takes them a while to understand, like most, like, you know, it takes them a while to understand what the process is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think eventually they do trust the process and they come to the understanding that what super agency does, you know, it does work. So,
what advice would you give a young person coming into a workshop that's, you know, they're like you, right?
Yeah.
They walk in this workshop, these super agency staff or workshop leaders are there, and they're like, we're gonna write a book and we're gonna do this. What advice would you give to a young person?
Just, I know it seems like nonsense, but just sit back, and if you have to, observe what's going on, because it will take a while to get into that to come to that realization of, oh, this is actually really cool and exciting. Because at first it just sounds like a load of nonsense and like, who are these people? I hate school, I hate English, because I know that's what I was like, you know.
Yeah. And so what advice would you give a school that is thinking about either saying, oh, we would like super agency to come to school, or a teacher, someone has suggested they have super agency come to the school? What advice would you give to a teacher or a head teacher or a head of English?
I think most teachers think the same as students. It's like, who are these people? Mm-hmm. And what are they doing? But I think that every student takes away from the workshop, whether it just, again, like be a memory of that really cool thing that they've done. That memory boosts their confidence, even if it's just, and it allows them to talk to people and, again, just be a confident individual. So why wouldn't you want to improve the students in your class?
Yeah.
Because not all of them might be good at English. You might have a class that are like mine and aren't good at English, and even if it doesn't improve their literary skills, it will. Yeah. But even if it didn't, why wouldn't you want to improve them as individuals? You know.
Right. Even beyond the writing part, just
exactly
experience.
I think that what a lot of people don't realise is that it doesn't just improve literacy. I would say, it does improve literacy, but I would say more it improves confidence and leadership and like basic life skills that everyone should have, but they seem to not have in the world.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And then for our friends, you're right, we've got a whole group of people out there in the audience that are from different countries, but are all sort of, they all are doing writing, they're writing organizations. They either have spaces or they have working in schools. They're doing like what we do with Super Agency. They work directly in schools. What would you tell them about your experience, or at least what they should know about what?
I think that if you're empowering young people and you're taking a kind of like informal approach to doing so, I think that go a long way. And if you're empowering young people, then I don't see why it wouldn't be successful.
Yeah.
You know. What advice would you give?
That's a good question. I would say, I think for me, that it's an amazing journey to do it and to do the work, because you are changing lives.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think we don't know, because like what happened with us, like we're in the workshop, we do it for, especially since we don't have a center and we're in a school, we come in, we work with you for 8 weeks. I might see you in the hallways, but it turns out I didn't see you in the hallways at all, right? Depending on what our schedules were. But then you realize, it's when you realize either there or you hear from teachers that you are making a difference. And it's that thing of like at your lowest, when you're like, am I making any difference? To know that you are making a difference.
Yeah.
And you are changing, to your point, you're changing lives. I think that's one of the things. I love talking to teachers afterwards and after workshops, and even like a couple of years afterwards, where they've seen the difference. Or even when I've seen the difference of young people that I'll see in the hallway who come up to me and they're like, Gerald, hi. And I'm always like, wow, right? It's this thing of understanding or just being confident in the work that we do and what we're doing, and that we are making a difference and we are adding something. This is the experience for many of these kids to become published authors of a book, or to do these workshops, or to have the opportunity in school, whatever, to have that type of freedom, creative freedom that they don't get a lot of times, is amazing. And that's what we provide. Our organizations provide that for people.
Yeah.